Yeah, we used to say the same thing about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, and you see how that turned out. That was just 2 years ago, and now this. Yeah.
Another one.
Remy, Massachusetts is telling anyone who will listen that Papoose gave up on her easily and could have fought for their love because she still wore the ring he got her because she still had high hopes that they would get back together. Her attempt to gaslight Papoose for moving on is ridiculous because she cheated on him with not one but two men and she expected him to keep it. Philippe Papoose's new girlfriend has caused her to feel some sort of way and she is not hating her feelings toward it. For those who might not know, Remy, Massachusetts and Papa's relationship was once the epitome of black love, and fans adored them for their unwavering love and devotion to one another. We used to say the same thing about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, and you see how that turned out. That was only 2 years ago, and now this is another one. Music. The entertainment industry was shocked to learn of their separation, and what made it worse was when it was revealed that they split up because Remy cheated on Papoose, which shocked the internet because Papoose had always been loyal to her. In 2008, when she was sent to jail, Papoose put his career on hold to be with Remy in jail, staying with her Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. Additionally, sources close to Papoose disclosed that he turned down shows and events and canceled studio sessions in order to be by Remy's side. I was chilling, so over the course of the first year, he came up every day, literally every visit. When you're in a match, you have a visit every day, Al on the weekends on Saturday or Sunday, so he literally ran up there every day from about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. I guess when he thought that Papo had been by her side through thick and thin during this time, he even risked his freedom by trying to sneak a skeleton key to her in prison. He was caught and received a 6-month ban from seeing her, which looks like a slap on the wrist, given that he was willing to risk his freedom to try to sneak the key into her after receiving the 6-month ban that prevented Papoose from seeing Remy in prison. Papoose chose to marry Remy while she was incarcerated. What was even more shocking was that Remy spent 6 more years in prison during that time, remaining faithful to her. The only time rumors surfaced that he had cheated and gotten a woman pregnant, he quickly put an end to them, saying, "I love the ground my wife walks on and would never ever cheat, but hypothetically speaking, if I did, it would never be with someone who is this unattractive." I'm sorry, The situation surrounding Remy, Massachusetts and Papoose has become more bizarre and complicated over time, especially after the shocking revelation that Remy had cheated on Papoose with rapper Eazy the Block Captain. This revelation added an entirely new layer of drama to their already tumultuous relationship, with even more twists emerging as the story unfolded. Eazy and Papoose ran in the same rap circles, but they were not exactly friendly. So, to say Papoose was furious upon learning of the betrayal would be an understatement. He had stood by Remy for so long, offering loyalty and support, and the news of her infidelity hit him hard. Papoose's anger was justified. After all, he had been there for Remy during some of the most difficult moments of her life, particularly when she was incarcerated. He never strayed and he showed unwavering support, so to have Remy cheat on him was a crushing blow. But the situation didn't stop there. To make matters even more complicated, a fake blogger appeared on the scene, allegedly assisting Remy in fabricating a story around the affair. This blogger gained a large following, with over 1,000 people rallying behind them as the saga played out online. The rap scene, already filled with drama and rivalries, took the situation to a whole new level. During a rap battle, Eazy the Block Captain was publicly called out for allegedly tampering with his friend's wife, Remy. This only served to amplify the tension between Eazy, Papoose, and Remy. Remy herself became the subject of ridicule for cheating on a man who had been nothing but faithful and supportive to her. The public backlash was swift and the fallout was severe. Fans and industry insiders alike began to view her in a new light. The situation was exposed further when Gay Gotti, a well-known figure in the rap world, publicly accused Remy of cheating on Papoose with Eazy. The allegations were a significant blow to Remy's reputation, and it seemed as if her marriage was on the verge of collapse. This wasn't just about a personal betrayal, it was now a very public scandal that would stain both Remy's and Papoose's names in the industry. In a dramatic turn of events, an eyewitness reported an encounter between Papoose and Eazy at an industry event, which allegedly escalated into a physical altercation. The witness claimed that Papoose knocked out Eazy cold, making it clear that the emotional toll of the affair had reached a boiling point. In the aftermath of the affair, Papoose made it clear that he was done with Remy. The damage to their relationship seemed irreparable. Reports suggested that he had moved on, finding comfort in a relationship with a much younger woman, a boxer. However, he has been keeping things low-key, presumably in an effort to protect his new relationship from the public eye and allow it a chance to flourish without the added pressures of celebrity scrutiny. Some sources said Papoose was happier than he had been since his breakup with Remy, and he seemed to be finding peace after everything. Meanwhile, Remy's reactions to Papoose moving on have only added fuel to the fire. Despite being seen with a new partner, Remy has been vocal about her feelings, often discussing her former relationship with Papoose in interviews and on social media. Fans and critics alike have noticed her constant talking about the past, and many have interpreted it as a sign that Remy secretly hoped for a reconciliation. She had moved on, yet she still clung to the idea that she and Papoose might somehow find their way back to each other. This became evident in her recent public statements, where she expressed frustration over Papoose's new relationship. The irony of Remy's situation has not gone unnoticed. She cheated on Papoose not once but twice, and now, despite being in a new relationship, she seems upset that he has moved on with someone else. Many people have pointed out the hypocrisy in her reactions. It's difficult to understand how someone who had betrayed their partner so publicly could then criticize them for doing exactly what she had done moving on. Remy's actions have led many to believe that she hasn't fully grasped the gravity of her betrayal and the damage it caused to her relationship with Papoose. It's also worth noting the remarkable loyalty Papoose showed to Remy during their marriage. Even in the face of her mistakes, he stood by her during her time in prison, and despite the difficulties they faced, he remained faithful. Remy, on the other hand, cheated on him not once but twice, and now seems to be confused about why he would move on from her. The double standard is glaring, and many fans and critics have expressed frustration with how Remy is handling the situation. Papoose's decision to move on with someone else is not only justified but also a sign that he is finally putting himself first after years of supporting Remy. He's been through a lot emotionally, and now, after everything he's endured, he deserves happiness. It's not just about finding someone new, it's about finding peace and closure, something that Remy clearly hasn't provided him. In contrast, Remy seems to be holding onto the past, refusing to let go of the idea that she and Papoose might one day reunite. But that hope seems increasingly unrealistic, especially considering her past actions. She had a chance with Papoose and she lost it. The best thing for them is to move forward and forget the past. The situation has caused irreversible damage to Remy's reputation, and it's unclear if she'll ever be able to fully recover from the public backlash. Her actions have put her in a difficult position, and despite her public statements, it's evident that she's not as over Papoose as she claims to be. As for Papoose, he's made it clear that he's done with the drama and is finally embracing a new chapter in his life. Only time will tell what the future holds for both Remy and Papoose, but one thing is clear: Papoose is moving on, and Remy needs to accept that. She needs to stop holding on to a past that no longer exists and focus on her own future. The reality is that Papoose deserves better than what Remy gave him, and it's time for both of them to find peace in their own lives. Do you agree with women when they ask, where were all the good men at? Because there are a lot of women who take advantage of good men, and it seems like it doesn't matter what level they're at, whether they're celebrities like these guys or just regular people going about their daily lives with 9-to-5 jobs, it always ends the same way. I tell you this, bro, and I won't say it too often, but this is exactly what I said first. Will Smith. Come on, ladies, let's keep it going. Well, a few years ago, I could have been one of these girls with a family, and this is my career and I'm being disrespectful. Many people might not know, and because of the way he did it, everyone is kind of gunning for him, so it could be anyone. I suppose at this point, you have no business jumping on this little boy and then taking him from city to perform these battle raps in an attempt to get a come up after you don't use your husband. I visited her every day for a I told you that Papoose had put hands on the little boy she was playing with, and as I was walking by, I saw Papo swinging and making a kind of aggressive motion. The next thing I knew, there was a lot of commotion and people were fleeing the room. Remy entered and security followed her, and they closed the door and they were fighting. He did go night-night, and Papo made it easy for the block captain too. If this is the year of breakups, sleep last night. Remy, Massachusetts and Papo have been married for a while, and he has been keeping her down while she was in jail. Remy is back to her best, but lately Media Takeout has claimed that she has been cheating with the 25-year-old rapper. I know, right? And then a battle rapper was acting disrespectfully toward Patos at one of his battles. Let's see, victim. We had 6 Chrome events and Pap was at each one. Why is he not involved? Don't worry about it, but don't worry about why he isn't at this one or why we aren't in New York, because the last time he was there, your husband punched him, so you actually moved it to a place where he felt more at ease. If he did show up, this weirdo had a UPS on him, my queen, and I knew from the first day I met you that you were going to be my husband, Rock. That's why Black thinks that still goes to the stages for every interview he displays his admiration and let the world know that he believes this woman is the best that ____HU down in music. Applause music ___. That's how you music to okay. So this is Remy, Massachusetts in the middle. His battle rap league is this guy right here to the left of her, which makes it simple to block captain. That's one of her artists. For a man who has been with her for 7 years, well, 10 years, because he was with her during her 7 years in prison. She has been caught cheating with him. He turns around and faces her, and that's a pretty intimate close distance, but Rem, Massachusetts notices the camera. We'll play this a few times and then you'll see it again. It appears as though he was about to approach her, perhaps saying something or kissing her, but I'm not sure. Although Remy attempted to downplay the relationship, media outlets confirmed that they were in it. This only fueled the flames as fans couldn't comprehend how Remy could move on so quickly after everything Papoose had done for her. Sir, see that? Yeah, H camera's right there. He's looking like, oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, who are you? All right, right camera there, dude, don't do anything stupid. However, Remy was spotted with another rapper. In spite of everything, Papoose never publicly insulted Remy or did anything that would make her feel ashamed. Instead, he concentrated on moving on with his life. Rumor has it that he is currently dating a boxer, and for the first time in a long time, he is truly excited about someone. According to people close to Papo, he is keeping the relationship private in the hopes that being out of the spotlight will increase their chances of creating something meaningful. According to sources, Remy has been telling people that she's disappointed in Papo for moving on and that he should have fought harder for their love. Remy never filed for divorce because she still thought they could get back together, but now that Papo is pleased with someone else, it seems her jealousy is getting the better of her. She even went live to vent her frustrations, saying things like every now and then somebody. Remy Massachusetts' recent comments have left fans puzzled and speculating about her feelings toward her ex-husband, Papoose, and his new relationship. While she didn't specifically call out Papoose or his new girlfriend, the timing of her remarks has led many to wonder if she is struggling to accept that her ex has moved on. The situation has become increasingly complicated, especially considering that Remy continues to wear the engagement ring Papoose gave her even after their split. This has led to speculation that she might be clinging to the past, holding on to the hope of a potential reunion, even though it seems clear that Papoose is no longer interested in rekindling their relationship. Papoose has made it abundantly clear that he is focused on co-parenting with Remy for the sake of their daughter. He reportedly only communicates with her about their child, distancing himself from any further emotional involvement. His actions speak volumes. He is ready to move forward with his life, and the possibility of reconciling with Remy doesn't appear to be on his radar. In contrast, Remy's continued attachment to the engagement ring suggests she has not fully let go of their past, even though their relationship ended some time ago. It raises the question, is Remy holding on to the hope of reconciliation, or is she simply struggling to accept that the relationship has truly ended? The public has not been shy in expressing their opinions about the situation. Many fans have sided with Papoose, criticizing Remy for her behavior and suggesting that she is unable to accept the reality that Papoose has moved on. One fan wrote, she thought he wasn't going to replace her and sis lost a decent man. Others have pointed out the sacrifices Papoose made for Remy during their relationship only for her to betray him. You will never find a man that treats you a fraction of how Papoose treated you, one fan noted, underscoring the sentiment that Papoose's loyalty and devotion to Remy were unmatched. From a fan's perspective, it's difficult to ignore the irony in the current dynamics of Remy and Papoose's relationship. While Remy appears to be holding on to the past, hoping for some sort of reconciliation, Papoose has taken a step forward. His new relationship offers him a fresh start, something he surely deserves after all the emotional challenges he faced during his time with Remy. In this sense, Papoose is seeking happiness, just as anyone would after a difficult breakup, and his decision to move on should be respected. On the other hand, Remy's actions seem to be less about love and more about control. The engagement ring, which she continues to wear despite their separation, hints at an emotional attachment that may go beyond a genuine desire to reunite. It might suggest that Remy isn't ready to let go of the idea of Papoose as her partner, even though he has clearly moved on. It's also possible that she feels a sense of ownership over their past relationship and is struggling to accept that Papoose has found happiness elsewhere. The fans' reactions highlight the complexities of this situation. While many have expressed their support for Papoose, a few have pointed out that Remy's behavior may stem from a deeper emotional struggle. Perhaps she's trying to hold on to something that no longer exists, or maybe she's finding it difficult to cope with the idea of losing Papoose for good. Regardless of the reasons behind her actions, it's clear that Remy's behavior has caught the attention of the public and fans are vocal in their criticism. The irony of Remy's current circumstances is striking. She seems to be clinging to a relationship that Papoose has already moved on from. In the eyes of many fans, her attempts to win him back are misguided. It appears that Papoose has done the right thing by moving forward with his life, and now it's Remy's turn to do the same. The question remains, does she value the loyalty and love she once had with him, or is she simply trying to hold on to something that's already gone? Papoose's new relationship marks a fresh chapter in his life, and fans believe he deserves to embrace this new opportunity for happiness. Remy, however, must decide if she's ready to accept the end of their relationship and move forward herself. Her continued attachment to the past, symbolized by the engagement ring, suggests she's struggling to let go, but only time will tell if she can truly move on. The bigger question that remains is whether Remy's actions are a result of genuine love or if they reflect a desire for control. Does she truly want to get back together with Papoose, or is she simply unable to let go of the idea of being with him? And does Papoose deserve the criticism Remy is directing toward him? In many ways, the situation seems to be one of emotional complexity, where both parties need to find closure, but their differing perspectives make that difficult. At the end of the day, Papoose seems to be handling the situation the right way. He is focused on co-parenting and moving forward with his life as anyone would after a breakup. His new relationship is a sign that he's ready to embrace a new chapter, and that's something he deserves after everything he's been through. As for Remy, the ball is now in her court. If she truly values the loyalty Papoose once showed her, it may be time for her to reflect on her behavior and decide to let go of the past. Only then will she be able to find the peace and happiness she deserves. I've always enjoyed Papoose and Remy Massachusetts' music and relationship because, well, most men wouldn't stick by a woman in that circumstance, and I don't think most people, regardless of gender, would stick by anyone in that situation. Now, with that in mind, I'm not sure why she believes she can win people over by claiming that he should have fought harder because everyone thought you were all stable and you were always there. Look to be a symbol of love, specifically black love, especially after what happened to Will Smith. You were essentially next in line to find out what happened, and it turns out that the woman is the reason that relationship failed again. You want to sit here and try to criticize him for moving on, but it's obvious that you moved on before he did. You idiot, you cheated, you literally cheated. What the __ are you talking about? It's about what happens when women express their emotions and logic is completely thrown out the window. Apparently, accountability goes along with it. Let's continue. Now that you're going to hear what other people have to say, I want to explain something to you guys. I really want to explain something to you guys that has to do with street chicks. You know, those girls who use slang, say things like, bro, what you talking about? And they street chicks I'm watching this Remy Ma and Papoose. There's a lot to unpack when it comes to the dynamics between Remy Massachusetts and Papoose, and I believe something happened that caused a shift in their relationship. Now, even though I don't know Papoose personally, it's difficult to ignore the fact that, in a way, he's probably relieved by Remy's recent actions. Let me explain why. When you listen to Papoose talk, you realize he's not just any man, he's a man who's been through the ups and downs of the streets. He's not a street thug or a punk, but he's definitely someone who understands life beyond the surface, the real struggle that shapes a person. In contrast, Remy Ma, while undoubtedly tough and street savvy in her own right, has always seemed like someone who's more about the drama and the spotlight, often speaking from a place of ego and pride. It's straightforward to see how this clash of mindsets could have led to a breakdown in their relationship. Now, every man, no matter how tough he is, believes deep down that he can change the woman he's with. It's a classic dynamic in relationships where a man, especially someone like Papoose, believes that his love, patience, and support could eventually reshape his partner. However, when a woman like Remy has her own strong sense of self and an unyielding attitude, it's not straightforward for anyone to change her. Over time, this disparity in expectations and understanding can lead to frustration, resentment, and eventually separation. Take Remy, for example. She's no spring chicken around 45 years old, and still, she seems caught up in the same repetitive behavior and conversations about getting that which only serve to highlight her inability to truly let go of the past. It's perplexing, especially considering how much she's accomplished in her career and the life she's built for herself. But this obsession with getting something, whether it's power, respect, or a relationship, often keeps her stuck in a loop. When you look at someone like Papoose, who is focused on growing and moving forward, it's clear why this disconnect will cause issues. He seems to be someone who understands that at a certain point, you have to let go of things that no longer serve you, and that includes relationships that drain your energy. I also have to say, I'm confused by the whole situation involving Papoose's new girlfriend. When you look at her, she's not a street chick at all. In fact, she's the complete opposite Zero Street, as I would say. She doesn't involve herself in Remy's drama and lifestyle, and yet Papoose seems to have found peace in this new relationship. It's a bit mind-boggling when you think about it, especially considering how Remy and Papoose's history played out. I'm still baffled by how Papoose managed to move on to someone completely different from what he had with Remy, but it's clear that he's found something that works for him. Now, I'm sure many people are wondering if Remy's trying to get Papoose back. Honestly, looking in from the outside, it seems absurd. Remy has already had her chance with Papoose, and yet she couldn't fully appreciate what she had when she had it. This is a classic case of not recognizing the value of something until it's gone. People in the public eye, particularly in relationships like theirs, tend to play games with each other's emotions, not fully realizing the consequences of their actions until it's too late. Remy didn't want Papoose when he was showing her nothing but loyalty and love. She thought she could have her cake and eat it too, and now that same man has moved on, and she's left trying to figure out how to get him back. But the truth is, Remy needs to move on. She didn't want that good man when she had him, and now it's clear that Papoose has learned from his past mistakes and has decided to move forward. Remy needs to stay where she is, not chasing after a relationship that's already run its course. She's the one who let go of Papoose, not the other way around. People often talk about the 80/20 rule in relationships where one partner has 80% of what they want, but they go chasing after the 20% they think is missing. It's a dangerous game to play, and it's one that Remy played with Papoose. She thought that 20% of something was more important than the 80% she had lying next to her. Now, she's left to deal with the consequences of her actions. At the end of the day, Papoose deserves someone who appreciates him for who he is, flaws and all. Remy has already shown that she's not willing to do that, and she doesn't deserve him back. Fans have been pretty vocal about this, with many expressing that Remy lost out on a wonderful man. She didn't value him when she had him, and now that he's moved on, it's clear that he deserves someone who will appreciate the loyalty, love, and care that he brings to the table. As for Remy, she needs to take a long, hard look at herself and stop playing games. She needs to accept the fact that Papoose is no longer part of her life, and that's a tough pill to swallow. It's time for her to stop pretending that she can just snap her fingers and get him back. She didn't treat him right when she had him, and now she has to deal with the consequences. As for Papoose, he's clearly moved on, and fans believe he deserves someone who truly values him. This entire situation is a reminder of how important it is to appreciate what you have when you get it. Relationships are not something to be taken for granted, and once something is lost, it may not always be possible to get it back. Remy, Massachusetts had her chance with Papoose, and now it's time for both of them to move on and embrace new chapters in their lives. What do you think about Remy trying to get Papoose back? Do you think it's too late for them to reconcile, or should she let him go for good? Tell me that after all these years, when Remy M and Papo finally decided to call it quits, the man grew tired of her. This man said, "Ma am, I sat here all this time and waited on you as a man because you know that's what women do and that's what women would wait on you. But a man after you got sentenced, even though men move on and they have about 5, 6, 7, or 10 women lined up quickly. But this man waited on you while you were locked up. They wouldn't let you out, and I'm talking about he got him a little. The sis is young, attractive, and has her own life going on, so it's like it's one of these little fans or nothing, and you're up against something and you hurt now. If you were the abusive one in the relationship, you probably suffered mental abuse from that man who was probably very chill. You probably did a lot of dirty things behind closed doors and he stayed with you while you did it. However, now that it's over, baby, karma is something else. In actuality, it isn't. I know for a fact that I can't be the only one who is enjoying the fact that Remy is upset that Papa moved in with a new girl. Is anyone else enjoying this as well? __, can I be the only one who will sleep soundly tonight knowing that Papoose has moved in with a new, younger version of a great woman that isn't really mine? Even karma knows his worth, and he's leaving you where you stand back there. Considering that Papoose has moved on, who will snore the loudest peaceful snore tonight? Did I mention that she's younger and probably doesn't have an extra deep, manly voice? I can't be the only one who thanks my lucky star that Remy, Massachusetts upset and Papoose is happy. Good men are frequently taken for granted because they assume you'll return when you're done with whatever you're doing, but I can't be the only one who. I'll congratulate myself for supporting Papo because he moved in with a younger woman who isn't Remy M. Tell me what you think of this man, whether you think P.O. is right for what he did, and whether you think Remy, Massachusetts should check herself or if she's just too high on how she feels again. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. I appreciate your love and support. Make sure to hit the bell notification so you know what I'm talking about. Check out the Travel Vogue channel, Unplugged Traveler, and the music channel as I recently released a new mixtape. Both links are in the description. Until the next time, you guys, deuces music. I'm uploading, so hit the like button because that's what the algorithm and helps me reach a broad audience.
First of all, man.
Stop the cap.
And 2, you cheated on that man not once but twice, and you've been spotted with your new man, and now you're gonna sit over here and try to throw shade and be upset at Papoose for finally moving on. And through all that, you were still expecting him to be there for you when he already showed you